Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another Autosphere video broadcast. Today we have with us Elias El-Achhab, Chief Operating Officer for Kia Canada. Elias, welcome to the broadcast.
Hey, Hugh, thanks for having me.
Okay, so obviously I wanted to talk to you today because there's been some exciting developments at Kia. Obviously you had a really interesting electric sound event not long ago, and it was kind of a showcase in a way for your new I guess, viewpoint and sort of strategy towards sustainable mobility. And I kind of just wanted to get from you, from a Canadian perspective, what does this kind of mean? I mean, obviously, sustainable mobility is a thing that's very sort of popular right now. It's a strategy a lot of companies are doing. But what does it mean from Kia's perspective in Canada?
Yeah, I mean, sustainable mobility has a lot of different definitions, but what it means for us is a few things. I mean, first of all, it signals the beginning of the shift away from traditional manufacturing-based business model and getting more into the mobility-based business model. So you can see that signified first and foremost in our new brand and our new brand strategy, and most importantly, we've gone as far as removing the word motors from our corporate names. So we are Kia. We're no longer Kia Motors. We're focused on mobility in terms of mobility as a service, in terms of electrification, in terms of purpose-built vehicles, in terms of sustainable business processes. That not only, when we say sustainable, we're not only talking about the drivetrains. We're not only talking about electric cars or plug-in hybrids. We're talking about sustainable from the long-term effect. We're talking about sustainable even from a manufacturing standpoint, even in some of the products that we're using, some of the materials that we're using to build our vehicles. It's a whole new way to look at the automotive business. Okay,
fascinating stuff. Can you provide more details about Plan S and sort of what that means towards greater electrification in Kia's Canadian lineup?
Yeah, so Plan S was introduced a little while ago, and S stands for shift, and it's our shift away from the old model and into the electrification. So it's based on a few different, bases. First and foremost, it's electrification and moving into EVs and purpose-built or ground-up built EVs. It's incorporating more plug-in hybrids and hybrids into our model lineup. It's adding the ability to build purpose-built vehicles, which can be scaled in height, width, length to and even seating configurations to try to meet a business's need. And then, of course, there's also the mobility as a service, and the final one being the autonomous vehicle technology, which is slowly being rolled out.
Okay, great. And obviously, we have the EV6. This is obviously a brand new product for Kia. What does this represent in Canada from a brand perspective with this model?
Well, the EV6 is the first true showcase of everything we've talked about, a combination of our new brand and brand direction, as well as the Plan S strategy. So the EV6 is built on what we call the eGMP, which is the global modular platform for electric cars. So it's ground up electric car. It incorporates the battery pack right into the chassis, which allows us to hold a bigger battery pack. It also allows us to do some pretty cool things. For example, we can charge from 10% to 80% in 18 minutes with our high voltage charging system, which is something that's leaps and bounds ahead of where we are today or where the market is today. It allows for, on average, that would be a little under 4.5 minutes per 100 kilometers. It allows for 480 kilometer range on these vehicles. It allows for additional storage and additional configurations of the interior to be more beneficial to everyday drivers and not having to worry about, feeding in drivetrains over and above the chassis.
Well, it sounds like it's got a lot of things that, will make it attractive in the marketplace. Are there any particular aspects of the EV6 that you feel will be of significant appeal for Canadian consumers?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, first and foremost is the high-speed charging we were talking about, going from 10% to 80% charge in just 18 minutes. That's, I think, a huge advantage, especially when you're driving across our vast landscape. The fact that the EV6 has battery heating system as well as a heat pump that's specifically designed for colder climates, I think is going to be crucial for our Canadian winters. And of course, the V2L function, the vehicle to load capability, where you're able to use the battery power that's stored inside the vehicle to power external devices. So you can power a TV and an AC unit for over 24 hours, for example, or you can power a concert like we did and power the guitar amps and the speakers, where we were powering it for over 20 minutes with barely using 1% of the charge in the vehicle. And then more recently, we just announced that we received the carbon footprint certificate for the EV6, the first car for us to do so. So lots of good news around the car and how it appeals to Canadians.
Well, that sounds really exciting and some really neat technological developments there. So we can't wait to see more of that. Kind of shifting gears a little bit, as many of our readers are dealers or work in the automotive retail space, what do you think the introduction of the EV6 represents for Kia's network of retailers in this country?
Well, the EV6 is the next phase of electrification for us. So we've been selling EVs and hybrids and plug-in hybrids since 2014. So we have a pretty good dealer network when it comes to that. They're very well trained. We have certification programs in play. But I think this is signaling that we have to go over and above. We have to get away from just having a select crew that's certified to having the entire dealerships become certified, to making this part of the day-to-day transaction at the dealership level. And I think our dealers in seeing the vehicles will be very supportive. They have been so far. And that's, I think, part of our strategy to make sure we stay ahead of the market, is to have the dealer network that we have and the strength that we have in there.
Okay, excellent. Obviously, sort of the electric sound event made a big splash. And just curious, how did the idea of this event come about? And what were some of the motivating factors that led to this amazing and, quite frankly, very unique experience with Fifi Dobson?
Well, we were looking for something unique, like you just said. It's a pretty big deal for us to be launching our new brand and the first model that kind of really showcases our brand strategy. And so we wanted to go above and beyond and try to find some parallel to another artist. And so Fifi kind of came to be because she's sort of reinventing herself the same as we are. She has a new single that's out actually this month now. So she's coming back into the market. She's got a new look and feel to her. And she's, a local Canadian artist. She's local talent. She's extremely talented. And so we thought that the parallel there was very good. She's the right ambassador to showcase our new brand strategy. And so we reached out, and luckily she was interested and was actually very, very helpful in trying to set up the event. And then we tried to see what we can do to stand out. And the first thing that came to mind is, well, the biggest draw is the amp and the speakers in the concert. And we thought, well, what if we had the car power this? And there you had it. It was fantastic. We've had very, very good response from automotive media, from our dealer body, but also on social media from a lot of the influencers and a lot of the common people that were just invited to the event. We invited up to 3,000 people to the event, and the feedback was just phenomenal.
Wow, that's absolutely incredible. And sort of, now in the aftermath of the concert, what's been the response not only to the event, but also the EV6 as well?
I think the response to the EV6 has been as good, if not better, than what we were hoping for. I think that the real tell, of course, is going to be when we get people into the vehicle, which will happen this fall. Everyone's excited to get into it. I'm getting way too many requests for people to test drive the vehicle, to be able to run footage and report on the vehicle. And the one that I appreciate the most, of course, is I've got a lineup of people that want to purchase the first EV that lands in the country, the first EV6 that lands in the country. Of course, I can't make them all first, but we're just going to have to let luck take over. But the fact that we're getting this much demand before we have even released any more information or pricing or anything to that effect on the vehicle is just mind-blowing.
Wow, it sounds very, very, very exciting. And it looks like you guys are going to have a very busy second half of the year ahead of you, and perhaps into 2022 as well. So Elias, is there anything else you'd like to mention regarding sort of movement that inspires, or any plans you can share with us going forward?
Yeah, so movement that inspires is an all-encompassing strategy. And although we've been talking right now about the EV6 and the electrification side of things, we are not leaving the ICE model by the wayside by any means. We are still supporting ICE vehicles, and will continue to do so until the time comes that they're no longer needed. So we still have options for our customers. We basically want to make sure that no matter what your mobility needs are, we have something that fits, be it small cars, SUVs, ICE hybrids, plug-in hybrids, or battery EVs. We want to have the full lineup for customers. And again, we're working towards a better strategy to fix the, ability for fleet companies to match up the vehicles exactly to what they want for their business.
Okay, great. Elias, thank you so much for taking time to chat with us today.
Thank you very much, Hugh.